At the end of the topic, you will be able to define the term hormone, mention the names of various endocrine glands, list down hormones secreted by Pituitary gland and their functions, name the cells of pancreas that secrete hormones. Think that you are riding a bicycle on the road. If you suddenly happen to see a dog chasing you, your heartbeat increases and you start to ride fast with extra energy. As a result, your body sweats a lot. Have you ever thought about this sudden change in your body? This sudden change is because of the adrenal hormone that is being secreted in your body. This hormone is secreted by the adrenal gland, which is part of the endocrine system. The endocrine system is comprised of many such glands. These glands regulate the normal functioning of the cells and other organs. Let's learn about these endocrine glands and its secretions in detail. Glands are the specialized tissues that secrete chemical substances which regulates body functions. Depending on how they release the chemicals, glands are classified into two types. They are exocrine and endocrine glands. Exocrine gland secretes enzymes that are carried by the ducts to the site of receptors. Endocrine glands are otherwise said to be ductless glands as they do not have ducts. These glands secrete chemical substances called hormones directly into the blood. Blood acts as a medium of transport for hormones. Different endocrine glands present in our body are Pituitary, Thyroid, Parathyroid, Adrenal Gland, Pancreas and Gonads, which includes the testis and ovary. Hormones act on the cells of other organs and increase or decrease the metabolism. They may act on other endocrine glands and control their function. Tissues or organs on which the hormones act are called target tissues or organs. A hormone may act on one or more target tissues. The same hormone may have different effects on different tissues. Different hormones may act on one target tissue. The pituitary gland controls the functions of all other endocrine glands in the body, so it is called as the master gland. This gland is present attached to the underside of the brain by a stalk. It serves as a link between the nervous system and the endocrine system. The size of the pituitary is very small. It is like that of a large pea seed. It has 3 lobes. They are anterior lobe, intermediate or middle lobe, and posterior lobe. Anterior and posterior lobes actively secrete hormones. Hormones secreted by anterior lobe are growth hormone, thyroid-stimulating hormone, follicle-stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, and prolactin. Hormones secreted by posterior lobe are oxytocin and vasopressin. Look at the table showing hormones of pituitary, their site of action and functions. Production of insufficient amount of growth hormone during childhood results in dwarfism. Persons affected by this disorder are called dwarfs with stunted growth. If large amounts of growth hormone is produced during childhood, growth of bones and limbs will be more and persons look like giants. This condition is called gigantism. Diabetes insipidus is a condition which occurs due to the insufficient amount of vasopressin produced in the body. Due to this condition, very large amounts of urine is excreted by the person. Thyroid gland is located close to the trachea in the neck region. The thyroid gland secretes the hormone thyroxine. Iodine is required for the production of this hormone. Thyroxine increases the metabolic rate of cells. It increases the production of heat in the body and promotes growth and differentiation of tissues. Insufficient production of thyroxine in the body of a child results in cretinism. The child will be having very poor body growth and will be mentally retarded. Insufficient amount of iodine in the food we take results in the increase in the size of the thyroid gland. This disorder is said to be simple goiter. It is clearly visible by the enlargement of the neck region. Thyroid-stimulating hormone is a glycoprotein which is made up of 211 amino acids. TSH acts on the thyroid gland, which is the target organ, and stimulates the thyroid to secrete thyroxine. There exists a negative feedback mechanism between the circulating level of thyroxine and the hypothalamic releasing factor. Under hypo level of thyroxine in the blood, the hypothalamus produces thyroid-stimulating hormone-releasing factor. This factor acts on the pituitary gland and stimulates secretion of thyroid-stimulating hormone. This hormone acts on thyroid gland to produce thyroxine. There is a reverse condition, that is hyper level of thyroxine in blood. Under this condition, hypothalamus does not produce thyroid-stimulating hormone-releasing factor. Thus, the production of thyroxine is controlled. The parathyroid gland is present very close to the thyroid glands. The parathyroid glands secrete the hormone parathormone. Role of parathormone is to control the level of calcium and phosphate in the blood and bone. Insufficient secretion of parathormone make the bones lose calcium and become soft. Overproduction of parathormone make muscles very active and remain in a contracted state called tetany. A pair of adrenal glands is present on top of each of the kidney. They look like a cap on the kidney. Cross-section of the adrenal glands show two distinct parts. They are the outer cortex and the inner medulla. Adrenal cortex secretes two hormones, cortisol and aldosterone. Cortisol regulates the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Aldosterone increases the reabsorption of water and sodium in the body, thereby maintains blood volume and sodium levels. The medulla part of the adrenal gland secretes a hormone called adrenaline. This hormone is produced in conditions of physical and mental stress. Therefore, it is otherwise called fight or flight hormone. Pancreas, or otherwise called as islets of Langerhans, is said to be a mixed gland because a portion of the pancreas acts like an exocrine gland and another portion acts like an endocrine gland. Pancreas is a leaf-like gland located near the duodenum. Endocrine, a part of pancreas, is made of cells called islets of Langerhans. These cells secrete two hormones such as insulin and glucagon. Insulin is usually produced in the body when there is an increase in the blood glucose level. It promotes the conversion of glucose to glycogen in the liver and muscle and stores in the same place for future use. Thereby, insulin helps to control the glucose level in the blood. Glucagon is secreted when the blood glucose levels are low. It promotes the conversion of glycogen to glucose, and this glucose is released to blood and supplied to the tissues. When sufficient amount of insulin is not produced in the body, the glucose level in blood increases and glucose will be excreted through urine. This condition is said to be diabetes mellitus. This disorder is identified by the presence of glucose in urine. Diabetes patients take insulin injections regularly to control the blood glucose level. Gonads are the organs that produce gametes. Testes are the male gonads and ovary are the female gonads that take part in the reproduction. Apart from producing gametes, these gonads also produce hormones. Testis secretes the male sex hormone testosterone. This hormone helps in the development of prostate gland and seminal vesicles, and also helps in the development of secondary sexual characters in male, such as formation of beard, mustache, and low-pitch male voice. Testosterone promotes the growth of bones and muscles. Luteinizing hormone promotes the secretion of testosterone. Ovary secretes the female hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen helps in the development of uterus, mammary glands, and fallopian tubes in the female reproductive system. It also promotes the development of secondary sexual characters in female, like characteristic hair growth and high-pitched voice in the females. Progesterone acts mostly during pregnancy period and promotes the growth of the uterus, implantation of embryo in uterus, and formation of placenta. Eunuchism is a condition which occurs in males due to absence of testosterone. Due to lack of this hormone, male characters will not develop.
Ovaries are both cytogenic and endocrine in functioning. Estrogen is responsible for growth of female reproductive organs and the appearance of secondary sexual characters in females, such as growth of pubic hairs, soft voice, feminine body, and so on. Progesterone maintains pregnancy and regulates menstrual cycle. Relaxin relaxes the muscles of the pelvic region at the time of childbirth.
In this topic, you have learnt cells of endocrine glands liberate chemical substances called hormones. Thyroid gland is located close to the trachea in the neck and secretes thyroxine. 2 adrenal glands are present, one on top of each kidney, and look like a cap on the kidney. Endocrine, a part of pancreas, is made of cells called islets of Langerhans. Progesterone promotes growth of uterus, implantation of embryo, and formation of placenta.
At the end of the topic, you will be able to describe the stages of meiosis, list the significance of meiosis, state the role of meiosis in cell division.
Cell division. Cell division is classified into 2 types. They are mitosis and meiosis. All the somatic cells divide by a process of mitosis, while the germ cells divide by a process called meiosis or reduction division. Meiosis. Stages. During meiosis, the nucleus divides twice. These divisions are called meiosis I and meiosis II. In meiosis I, the daughter cells receive only one set of chromosomes. That is, reduction in the number of chromosomes occurs in meiosis I. Meiosis II is a simple mitotic division which occurs immediately after meiosis I. Watch the animation to learn in detail about meiotic cell division. Significance of meiotic cell division. Meiosis is useful to maintain constant chromosome number in all sexually reproducing organisms. As a result of meiosis, haploid gametes are formed from parents, and when gametes unite during fertilization, a diploid zygote is formed, which gives rise to an adult organism, which again undergoes meiosis during the formation of gametes. As a result of meiosis, crossing over of chromosomes occurs. This process plays a very important role in the exchange of genetic material between 2 individuals of a species. This event is more popularly known as genetic recombination and plays an important role in the evolution of species.
The resemblance of son or daughter with his or her father or mother is an interesting feature in nature. Inheritance of characters from the parents to the progeny, that is heredity, ensures the passing of the parental characters to the progeny. The inheritance of characteristics through generations is called heredity. The inheritable characters may be morphological or physiological or anatomical or reproductive and are also known as traits. Both the mother and father contribute equal amount of genetic material to the child. This means that each trait can be influenced by both paternal and maternal genetic material, that is DNA. In this topic, you have learned meiosis is a kind of cell division which occurs in the germinal epithelial cells of the gonads to form the gametes. The various events of meiosis I are the 4 substages, namely prophase I, metaphase I, anaphase I, and telophase I. Cytokinesis is the cytoplasmic division that takes place at right angles to the position of the nuclei, resulting in the formation of 4 gametes. Crossing over results in variation of genetic traits in the offspring. The inheritance of characteristics through generations is called heredity.